Motherhood is not meant to be a solo sport, but how do we assemble our team, learn how to be a valuable player ourselves, and bring all the best snacks to the games? The woman who wrote the book on deep friendships and good food is our guest right now on Maggie and the Moms.
It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital.
We're talking about two of my favorite things today, food and friendship. This episode is an ode to our mom friends and a look at why showing up, preferably with a really delicious snack, matters so much. Our guest is the author of a beautiful new book, You're in Good Company. This is a gorgeous book that talks about the art of friendship, motherhood, and showing up through a collection of essays and recipes and stories. Ashlee Gadd is the author. She is a mother of three, and she is our guest today. I'm so happy to have you here, Ashlee. Welcome.
Hi, Maggie. Thanks so much for having me today. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you. Everybody knows Coffee and Crumbs, your online platform, which many of our listeners probably follow. And if you do know it, then you know that you're all about promoting female friendship, telling stories, bringing people together in real life. Why does all that matter so much to you, and why did you make it the focus of your book?
Gosh, motherhood can be such an isolating, lonely experience, and we just really need each other. We need each other to process what motherhood entails and all of the emotional roller coasters that we go on as moms. And so I'm so passionate about female friendship, about this idea of just building the village that you want to have. We hear it all the time. It takes a village to raise a child, but what does that actually mean? And how do you actually get that? How do you build it? How do you create it? How do you sustain it? I mean, those are the questions that we're really trying to tackle in this book, full of really good, rich stories all about female friendship and, all the ways we've gotten it right and all the ways we've gotten it wrong. And we're just so thrilled to share this collection with the world.
Who tells the stories? Who writes the essays in your book?
So there were 12 women who contributed to this book, and we're all mothers, we're all women of faith, and it's such a joyful experience to collaborate on a book like this, where we can all kind of come to the table with our unique experiences. These women live all over the country. They have different passions. We live in different areas where, culturally things might be a little bit different. We all have different friend groups. And so, we have just such a rich, robust collection of stories in this book that would not have been possible to write from only one perspective.
So many different points of view, but don't you find, at least I do every time here on Maggie and the Moms, that no matter where we come from, no matter what age or stage of parenting we're in, we find common ground there. We find common ground in the things that we go through and the things that we feel as moms. And so it's so important that we have not just our spouses, but to your point, those female friendships that where we find connection. So let's talk about how we find connection, because I love that you make the analogy that it's not a solo sport. Motherhood is not meant to be a solo sport, but how do you find your team? Because we're all so busy.
Yeah, gosh, that's such a good question. I think ultimately we prioritize the things that matter to us. And one kind of common misconception I feel like I hear a lot, especially from women, is sort of this underlying idea that friendship can just be kind of passive. And I'm really passionate about speaking out against that. Friendship is a verb, metaphorically, not literally, but friendship it's something you do. It's going to require something of you. It's going to require vulnerability. It's going to require you to get off your couch. It's going to require you to give up your time and your energy. And I guess what I really want women to know and believe is that all of that time and energy spent pursuing friendship, pursuing creating this community that you want to have, it will pay off in dividends. It's such a good investment of your time and of your energy, but it will require something of you.
If you give that and you get that, what will you receive? What have you found that it does for our lives as moms?
I think we talk a lot about the loneliness epidemic right now, especially in kind of a post-pandemic world. I think one of the greatest gifts like my friends have given me has simply been feeling like I'm understood and I'm not alone in some of the things that I've had to weather as a mom. When I'm going through things with my kids that I'm not comfortable sharing online or sharing on the internet, to have that real solid group of friends who can say, yeah, I'm actually going through that too. And
Yes.
here's what we did, or here's what worked for us. I just had dinner with a group of friends last week and we were talking about our teenagers and technology and what are some of the guardrails we're setting up for them and how is it working and what hasn't worked, and just having that safe space to come to the table judgment free, shame free, where we can kind of lay it all out there. um, that is wealth, for a mother to have access to that kind of support, and it matters so deeply, especially as our kids get older.
Couldn't agree more, but it's not easy because I just don't have time. I often feel I don't have time to make friends or to hang out with my female friends. What are some of the ways that you think we can and should be doing that?
Yeah. I think sometimes we get it in our heads that friendship has to look a certain way. We have to make space for a 4-hour dinner, or we have
True.
to go on a girls' trip over a whole weekend. When in actuality, I'm really passionate about creating in the margins. I talk about that a lot as a writer and an artist and a creative. I talk a lot about creating in the margins. And truly, I think friendships can be nurtured in the margins too. So if you have 5 minutes to make a phone call, if you commute to work, can you check in while you're driving? I'm all about habit stacking and multitasking. And I think people do have pockets of time throughout the day. It's just going to take that diligent choice to check in with a friend, maybe over scrolling on social media on your phone, or, what are some of the other things that are taking up space in your day that you actually could set aside to make space for relationships. I think we all have those pockets if we're honest. We just maybe need to be a little bit more disciplined in how we use them.
Pockets of time. Exactly
Yeah.
right. It doesn't have to be a whole long drawn out thing. One of my very best friends doesn't live in my same state anymore. And of
Yeah.
course in person is better always, but she's really good about setting up FaceTime calls. Not
Oh, I
just a
love that.
phone call, but FaceTime so that I can see her face and she can
Yeah.
see my face, and it feels like you're there together, because that's a big thing that you preach as well. Be there physically if you can, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, gosh, looking around just culturally at where we're at right now with the rise of artificial intelligence and, in a post-pandemic world where a lot of people have migrated to Zoom for different gatherings, I think it's so important that we still make space for embodied gatherings, for embodied friendship. When you're with a
Yeah.
person in real life and you are laughing with them and crying with them and you're able to touch them and hug them and just witness their mannerisms and witness their body language, that there's no substitute for that. There is no substitute for that. It matters so deeply, especially in the times that we're living in right now, where technology is changing so rapidly. And, a lot of people are leaning into using technology as a substitute for people. And that is not the way. That is not the
No.
way forward, in my
And
opinion.
it's so true. When you talk to a friend or when you hang out with a friend, you feel it in your body. There's a
Yes.
change in how you feel physically and mentally. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really magic.
Yes, we are built for that. We were made for that, and there is no substitute. So I just want to scream that from the rooftops. If you can make time in your life to hang out with people, spend time with people, and make it casual. One thing we write about a lot in this book is this idea that we're not talking about these like Pinterest perfect dinner parties. We're not
Thank
talking
you.
about elaborate get-togethers with themes and dress codes. Those things are fun, and if you're passionate about that, you should go for it and use your gifts. That can be really a fun experience for people. But you know what is just as great? Sitting on your living room floor, folding laundry with a friend. That's just as great. Taking a walk around your neighborhood with a friend while you drink coffee and push strollers. That is just as good. And so that matters. Time spent with people matters, and it matters more about your presence than the state of exactly what you're doing.
And it's great when there's also food involved. And I want to talk
Yes.
about that because it's a big part of your book, and we'll do that right after this quick break. We are back with our ode to mom friends and why showing up matters so much. Ashlee Gadd is the author of You're in Good Company, where she talks about friendship, the deep kind, not the shallow kind, and why it's often best enjoyed with some good food. So I love, Ashlee, that there are recipes. It's like a cookbook, too. How did you come up with the idea to kind of bring those two concepts together, friendship and food?
Yeah, I mean, this book is at the heart of it. It's really about friendship and also hospitality. And so food in that sense was such a natural fit to incorporate into the storytelling here. Food is such a beautiful example of common ground. Food is a love language and it's a way that we can show up for other people. There's that mantra like when in doubt, bring food. And
Yeah.
I think that works for just about everything. When you're happy, you eat. When you're sad, you eat. When, you're neither of those things, you still have to eat. And so food is an equalizer in that way. And it can just be a really beautiful offering and a way to even set the stage for some of these conversations to unfold. When we talk about vulnerability, when we talk about honesty, setting a table and making space for people is a beautiful place to do that.
So how do you kind of redefine hospitality? You mentioned it earlier that it doesn't have to be a Pinterest thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean exactly? What can and should we do instead?
Yeah. When I think hospitality, I think of just this idea of welcoming people in. So that looks like flinging open your front door, flinging open your heart, making space for people, giving them your time, your presence, pursuing connection with them. A lot of times it looks like just creating a sense of belonging for people. That's really what people want at the end of the day, right? They want to feel like they belong. They want to feel like they're welcome. And there are a million ways to do that. And not all of those ways include fancy dinner parties. You can welcome people into your home and just simply welcome them in, and that can be enough. And so I would love to just encourage the women who pick out this book to think about maybe some of the ways that they've made hospitality too hard or
Yes.
overcomplicated it. And I put myself in this category too. This has been a huge area of growth for me. I am admittedly a total clean freak. I have been known to panic vacuum my entire house before people come over. It's something I'm really working on, is embracing this idea that people just want to be welcomed in. They don't want perfection. They just want your presence. And so that's something I'm really working on. And at the heart of this book, that is the message.
Because when we do the opposite of that, which so many of us tend to do, we sabotage the whole thing. Like it's
Yeah.
just too hard, so I'm not even going to bother. And there goes
Yes.
another week and there goes another month and you just don't do it.
Yep.
So you
Yeah,
got to just
exactly.
release that pressure. So when I open the pages of your book, besides those essays, what will I find?
There's beautiful photography in the book. All of the photos were taken by Jenny Floyd, who is a member of our Coffee and Crumbs team and a very beautiful, talented photographer. So it's a very aesthetically pleasing type of book. It's gorgeous on the inside. You're going to find a collection of vulnerable, honest, gritty essays about what friendship really looks like, what hospitality really looks like. And you're going to find a recipe at the end of every essay. And these recipes, I like to say they're for the woman who loves to cook, and they are also for the woman who always burns the frozen pizza. And I am in the second camp, and it's important for me
I've
to
been
note that
both,
because
depending on the day.
yeah, I am that girl who loves to eat cereal for dinner. I am not
Really?
fancy in the kitchen. I'm not a great cook. So if I can make these recipes, trust me, anybody can.
Okay, so I love this idea. So there's an essay. Can you give me an example? Does the recipe somehow match the essay? So give me an example.
Yeah, some of the recipes directly correlate with the story. So I wrote an essay in this book called Good Mothers Bake from Scratch and Other Lies I've Believed. And it's kind of about my imposter syndrome that I've felt in the kitchen and the pressure that I've felt to be a really good cook and be a really good baker as a mom, and some of the guilt that I have experienced as a result of that. And I write about my grandmother in that essay and how my grandmother, who loved to bake and loved to make things from scratch, also always served me chocolate waffles when I would sleep over at her house. And chocolate waffles are Eggos, frozen
Oh.
waffles, topped with Hershey's chocolate syrup. So they are so simple. They're not fancy. They're definitely not good for you. But that was a meal that she served me my entire childhood. And I loved it. And so I write about her, and I write about this chocolate fudge that she used to make from scratch, which was very delicious. But, the whole point of that essay is to kind of drive home this point that it doesn't matter if you make something from scratch or if you bake muffins from a box. It's the effort that matters. It's showing up that matters. At the end of the day, you can make people feel loved through food that you spent a lot of time making. And you can also make people feel loved through takeout that you picked up on your way over to their house. And so it's about shortcuts and grace and mom guilt. And at the end of that essay, I include my grandma's recipe for her chocolate fudge. I also include the recipe for chocolate waffles, which is all of 2 ingredients.
Pretty simple. Yeah. That is so unbelievable that here you had this grandma who baked from scratch, who had this incredible gift. But what you remember as a full grown woman is how those chocolate waffles, frozen waffles with just regular chocolate sauce, Hershey's chocolate sauce.
Regular chocolate Hershey's, like the kind you put on ice cream. That's what we put on our waffles.
And that's what you remember. I love that.
Yeah.
But I am going to check out the recipe for the chocolate fudge, though, because that sounds really good. So I love this. What is an example of some of the other essays and topics that you cover in the book?
Gosh, there's an essay by my friend Kara, who is an avid hiker. I'm not a super outdoorsy girl, but she is. She's the kind who like camps in the mountains. And she writes this beautiful essay about a really profound moment of vulnerability that happened at the top of a hike with 2 of her closest friends, where she finally confided in them some of the really difficult things going on in her marriage, and just what a release that felt like to her to be able to say it out loud. And it's called A Burden Split 3 Ways. And she writes about their hike and, their love of camping and how being outside and being outdoors and being, away from their homes had kind of fostered this like safe environment for her to be really honest. So that's one essay I really love in the book. My friend Katie wrote a gorgeous essay about sourdough bread, and she uses the art of making sourdough as a metaphor for healing. She went through a really painful divorce a couple of years ago and uses this step-by-step instructions on how to make sourdough bread, but it's actually just a metaphor for her own healing, which is really beautiful.
So I love that it's not just not Pinterest worthy meals. It's not Pinterest worthy stories only. It's not the veneer of the perfect mom and the perfect life who's never had struggles or burdens.
No, yeah, this is definitely not a Pinterest perfect kind of book. So if that's what you're looking for, this is not that. I want to be very honest about that.
Except for the photos, because they're pretty princess perfect.
The photos are very beautiful. But you know what? These stories also, they contain so much hope. This is not a book full of despair. This is a book, I think,
because they came out of that. And then, like you said, your friend found the healing.
Yes, this is a book about just abundant grace and hope and light and resilience and how women carry each other through those things.
I love that. All right, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be right back to wrap up our conversation with Ashlee Gadd. Before you go, a few more moments with Ashlee Gadd, the author of You're in Good Company. And I have to say, I have been in the best company today with you, Ashlee. We've never met before, but there's this thing about when you meet a fellow mom and you start to talk, there's instant connection. And really, that's what this book celebrates, is the connection between moms. And when you develop a deep friendship, that's going to change your life. It's going to change your health. It's going to change everything, right? That is your philosophy. That is what you live by.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you make time for it? Because you have 3 children. So are you deliberate about it, or is it just what you said earlier, whenever you have 5 minutes, or do you go beyond? Do you have like a scheduled date with your mom friends?
I do have a lot of scheduled dates. I actually wrote a whole essay about a group of friends that I have dinner with once a month. We are going on 8 years of this tradition. By my math, I think we've done 96 dinners and counting. And, I think right now I'm in that really sweet spot of parenting. My kids are 7, 11, and 13. I don't have an infant. I'm not breastfeeding around the clock. If you're listening to this and you're in that season, that's going to look different for you. And that's okay. We use what we have, right? We have to work within the confines of our very real life. And so I happen to be in a season right now where I do have a little bit more time. I do have a little bit more capacity, and my kids don't need me home all the time. So I am able to get out when I want to. And I think that is really important to model for my kids too. I want my daughter especially to watch her mom leave the house and go out with her friends and prioritize in-person relationships. That's something I want for my daughter. And so I know the best way to cultivate that in her is to show her what that looks like in me. But I will also add, I use an app called Voxer, which has been such a saving grace. I cannot even tell you. I have 3 of my closest friends live in different states from me, but I talk to them every day using this app called Voxer. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie. So you can leave voice messages for each other all day long, but you don't have to be on the phone at the same time. And when you're dealing with friendships across miles or across time zones, or even if you live close, but like you just have opposite schedules, that's a really great tool to keep in touch. We talk all the live long day on and off, just in these like little brackets of time.
Spell it, Voxer.
It's Voxer, Voxer. It is probably my number one friendship hack, if you believe in friendship hacks.
Yes, I believe in all the hacks.
Yeah.
So Voxer, I have a similar thing, the mom dinners. So since my son was in elementary school, he's now a high school sophomore, the same group of moms have been getting together. And I found that now that they went to separate schools, it started to die down because we didn't have as much in common anymore. And then there was one mom who said, no, we're not going to let that happen, because we weren't just friends because our kids went to the same school.
Yes.
Through all these dinners, we have our own group and our own common interests and things that hold us together. And so you have to be, my point is, deliberate about it. You can't we have to, like you said, work at it. You can't just let these friendships fall by the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah. This group that I go out to dinner with once a month, again, I wrote a whole essay about them in our book, but we have this wonderful trick that really helps us stay together. And the trick is every time we get together for dinner, before the check comes, we whip out our calendars and we put the next one on the calendar.
We do the same.
And it's such a simple tip, but I swear it's kept our group together for 8 years and counting.
Wow. But here's the thing. I feel bad because it always falls on that one same mom who said, no, we're not doing this. We're not stopping this. So I think that we should all kind of give a little bit more and not put it on one person.
Yeah, that's true. I know we have a launch team going right now for our book, and a conversation that has come up quite a few times is, the people who feel like they're just chronic inviters and they're chronic initiators and they feel a little burnt out and they wish that it was reciprocated. And I get that. That's very real. I think that some of us are naturally gifted in that area. I know for me, I'm eldest daughter. I'm type A. Sure. I am the chronic inviter. I am the chronic plan maker.
Okay. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. And I've kind of learned to just like accept that this is actually a gift that I have to offer. But it's real. If you are the one who's always inviting and you're never getting invited anywhere, I don't want to invalidate that feeling. Like that's very legit. And I would just encourage women to talk to their friends about that. If you're in that type of friendship where you can actually be honest, and be able to voice that, I think that's good too.
I agree. Have the conversation at least. Don't assume that it's the chronic inviter who doesn't mind. Oh, she loves it. She doesn't mind. Don't make that assumption. All right. Before we go, I know that this is probably like asking you to choose your favorite child, but other than your own, an essay in the book that just, if I had to start with one, which one should I
There's
start
an essay in the book called Just Be There With Me by Sonia Spillman. And she writes about her mom passed away when she was 18 years old. And she writes about that day and how her friend brought her, I want to say it was like a greasy hamburger. I mean, it was fast food. Her friend showed up with fast food and just sat with her. And I can barely even talk about that story without crying because it's just such a beautiful, emotional, heartfelt story. And I think it just speaks to, again, this power of presence, of we just want people to be with us. It's not about what you bring. It's not about bringing the perfect thing, saying the perfect thing, doing the perfect thing. it's just about being with us in that moment. And it is such a gorgeous story. I'm so honored that it made it into the book.
Wow, a great takeaway. Thank you for sharing that story and all the others in your book and on the podcast today. Ashlee Gadd, everybody go and check out You're in Good Company. Thanks, Ashlee.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next time on Maggie and the Moms.